Hi, this is Brett Ingram, award-winning entrepreneur, and today I want to share with you 8 ways to build your brand online. Building a brand online involves a lot of different elements, but it's super important because while it isn't the same as traditional advertising or direct response type things where our main goal is to generate initial and immediate sales, the fact of the matter is, in a very crowded digital market space where there are new competitors coming in all the time and there's always new innovations and everything else, what's most important as things become more and more commoditized is that we're able to connect with our audience in a way that they seek us out, that they want to be able to buy from us, that they want to do business with us, they want to learn from us, they want our content, they want our products and everything else. And if we're just another sort of, advertiser that's trading dollars for sales, the problem is as other competitors come in and build their brands around us, they start to carve up the marketplace and take the mental space in our target market and in our prospects' minds that we need to occupy in order to be successful. So no matter what it is that we stand for, no matter what it is that we sell as a product or service or whatever else, it's super important that we create a mental idea of who we are to all of our customers, to all of our market, so they have a clear sense of that and they want to do business with us for that reason. And so it's a little tricky because it's not a direct result type situation where we can do a little bit of branding, we see a result, we know that it's working, and so we want to keep doing it. If you run an ad and you make $1 and you spend 50 cents, you know that it's making you money, so you want to keep doing that. Branding is a little bit trickier than that because we need to invest some time, we need to invest some resources into that. And the return on investment won't always be immediate. So we may want to, build that in with advertising and other promotion methods. But it's super important that we have some consistency when we build our brand because that is going to allow us to be successful long term. And so I want to share sort of 8 different effective ways to build your brand online. Now, they're not all independent ways. It's sort of like the full universe of things that we should be doing in order to be building our brand. And so some of them are independent methods to build the brand, and some things are connected to some of the methods in order to make it more effective. So the first step that we need to do is we need to actually define what our brand is. We need to figure out what it is that we stand for. What does the brand stand for? What do we want to be known for? When we think of a customer and we think of somebody saying our name to them for our company or ourselves, what do we want people to respond with? If I say to you, oh, what's, Coca-Cola or whatever, right? What comes to mind? Or what's Nike? What comes to mind? Whatever it is that we want to come into the user's mind, into our prospects' minds that they think of when they think about our brand, that's the thing that's super important. And that's ultimately what we want to start by defining, what we want to be. If we don't know what we want to be, if we don't know what mental space we want to occupy and what sort of value we want them to attach to us, how are we ever going to get there? So that's what we need to start with. Once we get sort of the big picture out of the way, it comes down to sort of core values and mission, right? So Patagonia, they're the environmental company and they're giving back. LL Bean is the permanent, unlimited returns, lifetime returns and warranty company. Various companies have their ideas and they built it based on their mission, their core values, what they stand for, and all of that. And that is really important because what that's going to do when we have all of that clear, that is going to allow us to look through that lens for every other thing that we do. If we don't have that clear, then we're sort of doing a campaign here, something there. We don't really know how to respond to customer inquiries or issues or whatever. If we start to build a team, the ship gets even looser and we have more issues because now we have people reacting in different ways to different things, promoting things in different ways. And so once we have that foundation in place, it'll guide us in all of our online activities so we can create a consistent message. So consistency is one of the absolute keys with branding. We need to know who we are, what we stand for, and all that. But we also need to be very consistent with what our messaging is once we know that. The second step, or second thing that we can do to build a brand, is to optimize our website, right? Our website is often the first point of contact with potential customers, even if it's not. Even if they see us online, even if they see a billboard or an ad or whatever, the first thing that people go to look at when they think about a company is they go to the website. So what the website looks like matters, how professional it is, what sort of imagery we're using, what the layout is. First of all, from a user experience standpoint, it has to be very easy and simple to use. But it also should evoke the same sort of values that we espouse. So if there are things, if we're talking a lot about, being a steward of the environment, or, being a good global citizen, and everything we have on our site is about making money, that's not really going to jive. People are going to think it's phony. If instead we've got pictures of people from our staff volunteering, cleaning up the harbor, or, volunteering at a children's camp or something like that, well, now it starts to look like, okay, we're walking in the shoes that we're pretending to, right? We are living the life and being authentic to who we claim we are. And so depending on what that is, and it doesn't have to be a grandiose mission. We don't all have to want to save the world. But the point is, whatever it is we claim we stand for, we need to make sure that our website evokes that, right? So you can even ask a friend, you can ask a relative, you can ask whoever to look at your website and give you 3 adjectives or 3 words that come to mind, and see if that jives with what we're going for. But in addition to that, it needs to also be very easy to use. It has to be professionally designed. It's worth spending the money, even if we aren't doing e-commerce, because that is going to be the thing that people, if they first get interested in us, where they decide whether to do business with us or not. When they click through to our website and they see what it looks like, they're going to decide, are these guys for real or are they not? So another thing that we want to do is on the back end is we want to optimize for search engines, right? This is not only going to give us traffic and give us, free website traffic and search traffic and everything else. It adds to credibility, because when you come up in search results, people think that your company is legitimate. People think that your brand is legitimate. But also, it helps reinforce that mission, because if the keywords that we're optimizing for and the SEO that we're optimizing for are aligned with what our vision, mission, and values are, it makes total sense. If somebody says, I want an environmentally conscious soap company, and boom, ours comes up number 1, and that's one of our core values, that's a home run. Because that person now found what they were looking for. It matters to them. Our mission matters to them. They are likely to be somebody we're not only going to be able to get to buy from us and become a customer, but they're likely to be an evangelist and go out there and tell everybody else about us as well. So the search engine optimization for the website's important too. Then once we start to get into the public-facing elements of this, and the next element of this, or the next step, or next way to brand ourselves and build our digital brand, is in content marketing. Now, content marketing can be anything and everything. It doesn't have to be just social media posts, right? It can be any, valuable, relevant, and consistent content that speaks to the target audience. So these could even be flyers, right? These can be blogs. These can be videos. They can be podcasts, infographics, any high quality content that, again, continues to re-emphasize all the things that we stand for, all the benefits that our products and services can provide people, and it can help establish us as an authority. We want our logo, we want our, what our signature colors are and our logo on every single thing. And I didn't mention that around the initial part of it, but when we're figuring out our identity, it makes a lot of sense at a minimum when we're doing our website, but if not before then. But by the time we start to do our website and our logo, it's super important that we have a consistent color theme, consistent fonts, and consistent way that we portray ourselves with our logo. We want to use the same logo or family of logos the same font families, and we want to use the same color schemes in every single thing that we do. Because over time, that starts to get ingrained in people's heads, and they start to realize who we are before they even read the ad. By seeing the colors, by seeing the fonts, we stand right out to them, and they can tell exactly who we are, and they know that it's us. So that helps establish it through consistency as well. So we want high quality content that reinforces our values, reinforces our mission, reinforces our products and services, and the benefits that people get for dealing with us. And that will help us establish us as an authority in the field. And we can do that on social media. We can do that on YouTube. We can do that on our website. We can do it through our flyers, or even if we have a physical store, we can be handing things out, whatever it is. But anywhere and everywhere that we appear, that's what we want to do. The fourth element of it is social media engagement, right? So for social media engagement, what we want to do here is be more than just a passive poster of content. First of all, we want to choose the right social media platforms. So figure out who our audience is. If our target audience is really young, then we definitely want to include TikTok in what we're doing because it's a very young platform. If our audience is a little bit older, then we definitely want to include Facebook because that audience demographically is a little bit older. So you can look up all the statistics on all the social media platforms and you can see all the demographics. It's all public. So you can see what age groups, what income levels, what interests, and all these other things, and determine where our target market hangs out. And at the in the final analysis, go on those platforms and do searches for the types of stuff that you create and see where all the people are hanging out. Wherever they're hanging out, that's where we want to plant our flag. That's where we want to build our brand. So sometimes it may be multiple platforms. Sometimes it might just be one, whatever the case may be. And then not only do we want to be posting regularly, because that not only gets us in people's minds, but keeps us there. But we also want to engage. Anybody who ever responds or comments on our stuff, we want to always respond back. We want to engage with them, let them know that we hear them, that we care, that we value their opinions. Again, that's the way that we're going to create evangelists that will go out and build our brand for us. But in addition to that, it just makes good common sense, and it's the right thing to do. If people take the time to engage with us, we want to engage back and make sure that we're doing that. And so if we engage with our followers and engage with what other people are saying around it, and we use our platforms to showcase our brand personality, that's a really cool thing too. It's okay to have fun with building a brand. It doesn't always have to be super serious. It depends on what your core values are and what you stand for and the kinds of products and services. But there's nothing wrong with having fun. There's nothing wrong with being funny or being creative and stuff like that too. The next element of building a brand is with our email marketing. So on our website and everywhere else that we are visible, we obviously want to be building a list. We want to be capturing prospects. We want to be capturing names and emails of our buyers and our customers, and we want to be sending out consistent messages. So again, not only do we want to build a list, that's part one, but in order to engage with our audience, we want to be sending out newsletters. We want to send out exclusive offers and personalized content. And the great thing about this is there are a lot of online tools, including just some of the autoresponder tools and email marketing tools that are already there, that allow you to make a template. So you can create a template or two that are consistent with your branding colors, that are consistent with the branding fonts and everything else. Add your logo to it. So now, again, every time they see us, boom, brand, boom, brand, boom, brand. They see our posts, our content, our email, our ads, our website, everything, and it's all consistent. It starts to build up and it starts to have a cumulative effect. Branding is one of those things that starts really slow. It requires more work in the beginning, and it doesn't pay off right away. But the more we do it, the more effective it becomes, the easier the entire sales process becomes. Because as we build an established brand, we no longer need to hard sell people. They come to us wanting to buy. So it makes every other marketing thing we do that much more effective. That's the power of building a brand. And email marketing can help us build relationships with customers and do it on a one-on-one basis. Because when we mail, Even though we might be mailing out to thousands, we write one-to-one. We don't write to, hey, all my subscribers. We write to you, my subscriber. And that's the way that we write. So it creates a bond. When someone takes the time to read that email and it's written in a personal tone and a friendly voice, and it shares, the values and the cares and concerns and some value for them, that is really powerful. Another way we want to do is we want to leverage customer reviews and testimonials. Anything we get from a customer that's positive, we want to make sure that we get the permission and that we use those, because it's very powerful in building trust with potential new customers. We want to encourage satisfied customers to share their experiences online, share them with us, and ask for permission to feature their testimonials prominently on our website, on our social media, in our email footers, wherever, because those are going to be our best representatives. Building a brand is one thing to do it on our own, but everybody is naturally skeptical of the company itself because the company stands something to gain. We're trying to sell something. When a third party, when someone else that doesn't stand anything to gain stands up and says, these guys are great, that means a lot and it carries a lot. That social proof element is really, really, really important in building a brand. And so we want to leverage that. We're going to encourage people to actually give testimonials and not just hope that once in a while someone will speak up when they've had a good experience. The seventh element or thing that we can do is use paid advertising, even though it's paid advertising, but we can use it wisely, right? We can use Google ads, we can use social media ads. And again, we don't necessarily need to use this directly to make sales. We can do it to increase our brand visibility and reach a larger audience. And we can do it at a low cost just to sort of keep ourselves out there in everyone's mind. When someone goes through a buying process and they identify a need of something that they want, one of the first things that they do is they evaluate and assess, are there any options for buying that they're already aware of? So if they've seen your company name, even if they don't know anything about you, they're much more likely to at least then go look you up and consider you as one of the possible universe of prospects that they could buy from and do business with. So the more we're in front of people, the more that they are aware of us, the better chance we have making a sale. If a customer doesn't even know we exist, unless they do a search and our name, our company happens to pop up, we have no chance of ever making a sale. So we want to tailor our ads to target our specific desired demographic and use them to highlight special offers or content that showcases our brand's value. And the last thing, the eighth thing we can do that's very powerful is do collaborations with influencers. Find influencers that are aligned with our values, goals, mission, and everything else. Those are the perfect people because they already have a network of people that they've built that trust them implicitly based on those values, based on what they stand for. So if they fit what we are trying to do and we partner with them, we can pay them initially, to do promotions and stuff. But the point is we want to partner with them who align with our brand values and have a significant following in our target market because they can introduce our brand to their audience in a way that feels more personal and more authentic as opposed to pure advertising. It can ultimately be the best dollars we'll ever spend on promotion and advertising, which, by the way, is why the influencer market is so huge and keeps growing, because there's a ton of money in it because companies and brands and advertisers realize that it's far more effective to go through someone who already has a relationship than it is to try to run ads to a cold audience and hope that we strike gold with it. So it can significantly boost our brand awareness and our credibility all at once. And so those 8 ways will really help us if we take them all to heart and really drive a consistent message throughout all 8 of those. The takeaway here is that by implementing these strategies, we can build a strong online brand presence that resonates with our target audience and stands out in a crowded digital landscape. We have to remember that building a brand takes time and it takes consistency. So it's important to be patient and persistent in our efforts. Building a brand is not like direct response advertising. We aren't expecting an immediate uptick in sales that we can measure, but rather to carve out our mental real estate in our prospects and target markets' minds so we can benefit now and for all of the future.